everyone. Good evening and welcome to Flames of Freedom, the Tamere Society here on InfiniteRP. I am your historian, Doc Rimbo, he, him, they, them, and I am so glad that you're here to join our group of intrepid people. I don't know, like you're not adventurers, right? You're just sort of
no, I wouldn't call
them weirdos.
We're just concerned citizens.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're slightly trumped up normies, honestly. I'm just a
mild revolutionaries.
Well,
we're not even militia. We're just people.
Although you do,
we're just people.
We're just people. Listen,
we are
sounds like you're apologizing
humans.
for yourself.
Kind of.
We're just people.
Look, we're sorry for whatever we do.
Too much from us.
Well, yeah, I'm mostly just trying to set the expectations really low for how well we're going to perform at our jobs because we're pretty bad typically at it.
And for those who are joining us for the first time, their job is during the Revolutionary War, the American Revolution of 1776, they live in Manhattan, where they're basically ye old X-Files and sort of enlisted by General George Washington to unearth threats towards the young country and especially supernatural ones and root them all. I turned into Jeff Goldblum for a second there. But turning to unearth supernatural threats wherever they might lie.
Zoinks!
This is going a lot of different directions.
I mean, you missed the conversation though, where my optional backup character is just a barrel that like pokes out random attachments.
Stay tuned for Anna's next backup character, Barrel 234.
Yeah, 18th century analog R2D2.
It's named Keg.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh no, a keg. Keg is aroused.
In our first few episodes, the gang was brought to New York City, where they are running a school called the Tamere Society. It's kind of a secret club / etiquette school as a front to cover their tracks to their real purpose, which is to, be Ghostbusters or some shit like that. But the school is in dire straits, and while looking for a way to unearth it, Saoirse got stabbed, and that's where we began last week's episode. So let's start with our friend Sid. And Sid, you could introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and what your deal is, and what happened to Saoirse last week.
Okay. Hey, I'm Christine Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. Generally, just talking about the fun stuff I do on the internet. My character is Saoirse. Pronouns she, her, just like mine. She is a linguist. She's an artist. She got stabbed in the stomach by what she thought was a friend at the beginning. The end of 2 sessions ago, the beginning of last session, and she bled a lot. And then all of her friends really tried to help, and it didn't go very well for the first part of that.
No, they tried really hard.
They tried real hard.
Yeah,
really hard.
Where like for a second they stopped the horrible bleeding, and then they all rolled critical fails or something stupid like that, and the bleeding started again.
She just started bleeding again.
Nessa had a really hard day at the office as a healer. Rolls really did not go in her favor.
She was doing her very best.
She was the living definition of out here doing her best.
It's true.
That is true.
But we had a lot of lovely moments when we were all fairly certain I was going to have to roll up a new character.
We were ready.
Whew.
Things got dire. And
but
you did pull through. Thanks in part to Nessa, who's not here this week. Our friend Kate is taking the week off. But Saoirse, aka Sid, would you mind rolling me a d6 to see if you get any coins in your coin pool?
I rolled a 3.
Excellent. 1 for the players, 1 for me automatically, because I'm your historian. Let us go down to the center of the screen below me to our friend Anna, Nymeria Streams. Anna, that's you. What else happened last week after Saoirse was stabilized?
Oh, well, a lot of things. I guess the most important one, chronologically being that Saoirse got stabbed by Mary Pullman, who was the teenager, the youth that needed help. That was the focal point of last season's machinations. Contentment Hussey had never met her, though. So when what appears to be some random teen girl shows up and stabs my friend Saoirse in the middle of broad daylight, Contentment naturally became really suspicious. The girl immediately passed out, so Contentment was like, fine, we'll go get Saoirse to the hospital and I'll take Mary Pullman back to the school unconscious. And she's just like really still really unconscious, and we don't know why. We took her to a doctor, we took her to a hospital, we took her back to the school. We got a positive, like, you know, like it was really good for Mary Pullman that Saoirse didn't die, just saying. But yeah, she hasn't woken up yet, and we're all kind of thinking it has something to do with the mysterious knockers that we're investigating or something like that.
Something's going on, and she's
Something's going on,
comatose, and it's all wild. Anna, introduce yourself because I didn't get you a chance to let you.
Oh shoot, I forgot to do that. Hi, I'm Anna. I use she they pronouns, and I'm playing Contentment Hussey, who is a bod / libertine and uses she her pronouns. So yeah. And
Anna, antecedent, ancestor.
It's true.
Everything that happens is historically accurate. Why don't you roll me a d6 to see if you get a coin?
I mean,
everything here is.
Were they
fact.
there? Can they refute that? No,
you say
they
no?
can't. All factual. Everything.
Their dino DNA lives in me. Okay, I also rolled a 3. Sorry, guys, I'm on a big Jurassic Park kick right now for reasons, but yeah, it's
as you should be
always. Yeah. I also rolled a 3, so we get a coin.
Excellent. That's 2 coins for the players and 1 for me. Let us move along, and we'll talk to our friend Wally. Wally132. Hi, Wally.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Wally, your favorite non-binary slime best friend on the internet, who will have sweaty palms at the beginning of this game because they're worried that the player is going to die right in front of them. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's what happened last week.
I'm very worried.
Oh, but yeah, like, wow. Zeke was going through it last week. I mean, the love of his life was dying in front of him in his arms, and he was running around the city trying to find someone to help them. He yelled at people, yelled at everyone, like, hey, take me to your manager when he got to the hospital. It was intense for the guy. He is going intense. And then now they're investigating a house, and we may or may not have a giant person running at them. So
that's true. You guys,
this
is because, like, from what I remember is you said that they ran at us.
Yes.
And they kept going. So that's what has me very confused here. I'm really curious what that means. Yeah, it's very strange.
All will be revealed, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just making this up. Who knows what happened? But so you went to the hospital, right? You met this doctor who quite obviously had smallpox.
That's right. I got exposed to smallpox. I completely forgot. So I also hence the backup character who's a barrel. Can't get sick if you're made out of wood. Yeah, exactly.
It does say here in my copy of Flames of Freedom that constructs are immune to smallpox.
Specifically wooden constructs.
Right. Specifically wooden constructs.
Barrel-based constructs.
That's what happens when Anna writes the rules. She puts the shit in there for herself later on.
Why, Anna? Said Daniel Fox. Why are you putting this rule in here?
There's so many footnotes in this book of, like, just in case Anna gets a batshit character idea. It's like, no, I can do it. It's right there in the rules. I wrote it.
Can you imagine the notes that Dan Fox gave her? Like, I think this draft is great, but there's more barrel stuff in there than I was expecting. Like, I was expecting a little bit of barrels, but there's like significantly more barrels than I thought there would be.
It's not called Barrels of Freedom.
You pulled her to silent. And listen, I understand you're really here for the barrels, but a whole chapter dedicated to barrel construction.
A whole article dedicated to the barrels.
Article 16, barrels.
Just leaving yourself some goodies for later on.
You do realize she's going to play a porter next as our backup character.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to play a porter as a backup character just because we've been saying barrels over and over again.
Is it going to be... Is Cooper a profession in this?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, well.
If not, stay tuned for the cast's new publication through Six String Games at Drive Through RPG. It's an add-on.
And-
Flames of
and
Freedom.
named to Flames of Freedom.
Flames of Freedom, the barrel DLC.
Or it's just like, it's not even just that. It's just big bold letters, keg.
Excellent. Wally, roll
Feel
me a
everyone
D6,
gaming.
if you would.
Oh my
I
god.
got a 3.
I missed you
Everyone's
guys.
getting threes tonight, which is good for those of you who haven't watched before. If they roll a 6, I get a superpower coin, and if they don't, they get one. So currently, there's 3 in the player pool, which is up here, and then there is 1 in the historian pool, which is up here. And so let us go to our final cast member, part-time teacher, full-time rabble rouser, full-time fashion plate, Phineas Rutt. Colin, how
That
are
is
you?
the nicest introduction you've ever given me on
Don't
any
get,
episode.
don't
of the
get
show,
used to it.
ever. By the way,
Oh my
Cooper is not a profession, but brewer is.
Brewer is
So-
okay.
You can have a good
No,
reasonable
I
argument.
think it was a profession in an earlier draft, and
Honest to God, we did have to trim down the number of barrel-related professions that there were.
Because you went fucking overboard with the barrel shit.
Uh-huh.
Dan had to take out a whole profession.
Mm.
Okay.
bet
We're
he didn't
saying
even
that you
tell
did
you.
this to yourself, Anna.
I bet he
That's
didn't even
what
tell
we're
you. I
really
bet the
trying to
hard
say.
copy showed up on your desk, and you're like, "Wait, where's the barrel one?"
Like,
I
Anna
think I'm
Howard
missing a
walked down the
page. I
hallway
just-
holding a
the
book, like, excuse me,
barrel part.
excuse me, excuse me.
Oh, I'm picturing Anna in a bookstore, like finding it in Barnes and Noble and flipping through it in public, like, what the fuck is my barrel?
Throwing it. Someone gets knocked
Where are
unconscious
my
by the size of this book.
barrels?
10-year-old child in the aisle just staring at her, the gas.
Ice cream cone, the ice cream drops off. Colin, who are you?
Mommy, why is the man screaming about barrels? I'm Colin. I'm at Colonomicon, also at Six String Games on Twitter, which is the game company I own with Anna right down there. I think it's going the right way. We have a game company together, and it's cool. I'm also Phineas Rutt of Rutland, Vermont. He is a good old boy. He's not an old boy. He's a very young boy. He's
a good boy.
He's a good boy. He just turned 18, and I realized I said that at the start of the season that he just turned 18, but then I thought, like, I'm missing out on us having a Phineas's birthday episode by just saying it already happened. But
Well, you lied about your age, right? So,
He
like,
lied about his
how
age,
many
yeah.
times are you really gonna turn 18?
that's true. He can celebrate his 18th birthday several times over.
You totally can.
Because he lied about it. You know, his official records say he's 18 right now, but
Right.
that's not true. So
Mhm.
he can celebrate his real birthday and then the fake birthday that he's told the army.
It's multiple birthdays.
Yeah. So that's my boy Phineas. He is a good old farm boy from Vermont and a volunteer militiaman from the Green Mountain Boys, but he has hung up the green coat and gone to more of this lovely velvet red to go deep cover in New York City with these fools, acting as a substitute teacher at the Tamere Society School. And he is a very, very, very good teacher. Great teacher. He's teaching them the important shit. He's teaching them to question authority. And that's really all he wants.
Okay.
The authority is him.
I'll give
In
you
this
that.
instance. Yeah.
Mhm. So anything you remember from last time that we haven't mentioned yet? You split up, right?
Yep. We split up. I went to investigate what's the guy's name? He has like
Caradoc Bryce.
Caradoc. Yeah.
Mhm.
Caradoc Bryce, his house is haunted by knockers.
Mhm.
So
He's got knockers.
He's got knockers in his house.
That joke's so funny.
It's evergreen.
Never not be funny.
Never know.
So he's hanging out at a tavern and won't go in his house. And we met back up with him, and I said, literally seconds after Saoirse told us not to split up, we split up.
Mhm.
And some of y'all went downtown to check out the silversmith, I believe.
That's right.
The silversmith,
Yeah.
the silversmith who made the lockets that Mary Pullman was carrying.
The mirrors. Yeah.
The mirrors.
compact
The
mirrors. Yeah.
Compact mirrors, yeah.
Mirror.
That had like
Yeah.
roses or something on them.
Roses and
Yeah, it's-
thorns.
Right.
With a drop of liquid going off one of the thorns.
Mhm.
That's pretty sweet. So y'all went down
yeah.
to investigate that. Well, I went uptown to check out this guy's house, and a bunch of rats fell on me through the floor.
Yeah, as rats do.
Yeah.
So
Drowning in
the sort of put a bow on all of that. Basically, what happened at the end of last week's episode is the group was split into 3 parts, and so as we come back, they're still split into 3 parts. But before we move forward, I do want to say that our retweet goal for tonight is 23. We're upping the ante. We've done 20, and we've hit it every week. So this week we're going to go with 23 retweets. At 23 retweets, I will put on the wig, making me look like a drunk Revolutionary War hero. So
making you look like a gorgeous Revolutionary War.
A gorgeous drunk revolutionary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna be completely honest. Yeah, he gorgeous, but he's still lit.
But if you were to actually be able to afford a powdered wig like that, you're also rich. So
You're a fancy boy.
yeah.
Loaded in multiple respects.
Yes,
There you go.
precisely.
So currently we're at 11 retweets. So we're halfway there. And past 2 weeks, episodes 1 and 2, we've gotten there by the midway break. So I think we'll get there again tonight.
Retweet time.
During
Retweet
episode
'em.
3, Puttin on the rats.
Hey, Dan Fox retweeted us. Thanks, Dan.
Daniel Fox retweeted us. Oh, and that reminds me, in case we haven't mentioned it already, we are playing Flames of Freedom, the 1776 American Gothic horror game based in the Revolutionary War with the addition of supernatural threats. So you can always you can pick that up anywhere you buy your games. Go to your friendly local store or order it online, and you'll be able to find it there. And we appreciate Andrews McMillan and Zweihander for supporting the show and for making such an awesome game. Here's where we are. In the Tamere Society headquarters, which is called Fairfax Hall. On the 2nd floor, Saoirse is sitting bedside with Mary Pullman, who's still in a coma, but they're all left there alone. And so Saoirse is basically at bedside as Mary starts to stir and twitch, and you can see the rapid eye movement underneath her eyelids as she starts to shake just a little bit. At that same time, on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, in a rundown old man bachelor pad owned by Caradoc Bryce, we have Phineas Rutt, who has come into the entryway, heard a scratching in the ceiling, and the ceiling has just given way, and a sea of large gray rats mixed in with some silver trinkets and baubles have come through the ceiling and are starting to rain down upon him. Only a few blocks away, at a place called Lackadilly Silversmith, Zeke and Contentment have climbed through a window. The rest of this building is boarded up. And Zeke and Contentment found a window that was unboarded, climbed in, and just as they started to look around this back storage workshop space, they heard footsteps getting louder and louder. The door flew open, and they were both bowled over by a human figure somewhere between 7 and 8 feet tall, who then jumped through the window, shattering glass everywhere, and took off in a run down the street. So we are going to start at the top of the order. And the first person to go in this order are the rats.
Those are some quick ass rats.
They are some quick rats, and they are currently raining down on Phineas. Phineas, again, like I said, there's other stuff mixed in here with these rats, and there's you can see glints of metal as the street light and the moonlight from outside sort of bounce off of it, and all these rats sort of start landing on top of you, thud, 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 thud. And then they start climbing up your pant legs and sort of all up and over you, swarming you, giving little tiny bites up and down your body. So this is combat, technically.
You think?
Mm-hmm. It's you versus the rats here, but let's look at what my rats can do. This is called a mischief of rats, appropriately enough.
Mischief. Is that the term for a group of rats? Is it like a murder of crows?
It's one of them. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so
I love
this
that.
swarm of rats is going to just try and bite you. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a melee attack. So we're using a D100 system. So I have to roll underneath a 45 for this melee attack. And they're rolling 89. So they're trying to like bite at your clothes, but you're swatting at them and shaking them off. But they continue to crawl and bite. And they're going to do it again just because they've got 3 AP, just like everybody else.
Oh.
And that one is a 46. So just above the 45 that I needed. And then I think say that's the end of their turn because they need a little bit of movement to get down on top of you. But you're covered in rats.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And how's Phineas feel about this development?
Okay, gonna make a quick in character. Well, you know what? Phineas is not afraid of rats. I don't think Phineas. Phineas was a farm boy, so like he's used to vermin in his barn. So he's not new to rats or anything. Even large amounts of rats. It doesn't feel great, but I don't think he'd be freaking out about it the way like for example Colin would be if this were happening right now.
Oh, I see. You're in character.
Yeah. See, we're not. Okay. I know we're really close.
You're acting.
To people. Yeah. It's acting. It's acting. You see. So I think he's very businesslike about it. The reason they haven't hit him yet is because he's shaking them off and he's grabbing them and literally throwing them.
Absolutely.
And keeping them off of him. And it's all he's working on instinct right now while he tries to figure out what the fuck to do.
Sure. Let's keep moving. Next up is Contentment and then Zeke. So fortunately, you're back to back. You've just seen this enormous figure burst through the window and land outside, and you hear him or her or it turn to start and run away. Contentment, you're up.
I'm like jumping out that window to run too.
Sweet. Okay.
I mean, I'm just, yeah.
I'll just go ahead and ask Zeke, because your turn is next. Are you going to follow?
Oh yeah, I'm going to follow.
Okay,
I'm just full on in hot pursuit over here.
Excellent. Then I'm going to turn yours into a chase scene.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to do a chase that's 6 rounds.
Oh wow.
And the way chases work in this game is that we have an escape value. The figure who's running away has set the escape value. Everybody else needs to roll to try to meet it with a pursuit value. And the way you do that is you roll a d10 and you add your movement to see if you meet it. So go ahead and roll me a d10 to see if you catch up.
And we have to meet or beat their movement?
Meet or beat.
Do we add anything from our sheet to the roll? Or
movement is 3 plus AB, so you would add something.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
Cool. That's not good for me. I just rolled a 12 total.
Cool.
2 on the D10.
Cool.
Zeke, how did you do?
That's a 19.
It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a 19, you meet his escape value. So now that we've established that you are able to leap out the window and run after this thing and place a hand on its shoulder, I'm going to need you to make a capture check. So this is an athletics or coordination check. And the difficulty rating here is a trivial one for round 1. So it's plus 30. Yeah, so it's pretty good. So either athletics or coordination.
I'm gonna go with coordination.
Okay.
Got a 14. My coordination's a 52.
Nice.
So you get a hold of this large cloak that this figure is wearing, with a hood pulled up over the top of them, and you grab onto the edge of the cloak. And now they get to roll athletics or coordination to try and escape. So try to avoid capture. So let me bring up their stats here. I gotta look. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
It'll be really awkward if this is George Washington. Just saying. Like, that's always my fear, is that we're gonna get like, surprise, it was George Washington all along, whenever we're like wailing on somebody. And yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me see if they beat their check here. They rolled a 5.
Oh.
And so yes, they easily beat your attempt to grab onto them. They spin around. And you don't get a look at the face because it's cloaked in shadow. It's nighttime, remember? And they just sort of like, with incredible strength, bat your hand aside and sort of just like knock it. You've never felt someone. I mean, Zeke's a big guy, right? How tall is Zeke?
Well, he's tall, but not like Phineas tall.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. He just sort of like shoves your hand aside like it's a stick of soft butter.
Ooh.
I don't know what that metaphor is, but
His hand
knocks
melts.
it, yep, knocks it aside, and they turn and continue to flee. So next up in the order is we turn to the second floor of the Tamere Society and see Saoirse standing there next to Mary's bedside, and you're watching as her eyes sort of twitch and move, and then with her eyes still closed in this comatose sort of subconscious state, you see her hands start to raise up and she starts to push herself up from the bed. What do you do?
Oh, push her down.
Okay.
Mary.
She doesn't respond.
Mary,
I'm
you need to
gonna-
stay in bed.
I'm gonna need you to make me an athletics check to see if you can push her back down.
Ugh, that's not gonna be good. Okay.
I'm gonna do a contesting check here.
Okay. No.
No, what'd you get?
I got an 87.
Ooh, I've got bad news for you. I did have an automatic success, which is a 69. So she comes back to bite you. Yeah, so she
Nice.
does. You go to push her down, and sort of like Zeke felt, although maybe Saoirse wouldn't know this distinctly, but that same kind of power you feel as she sort of like rises up against like every ounce of strength you have, and she sits upright, and then slowly she turns her head to look at you through closed eyes, and just sort of catches her attention as she sees you but doesn't see you standing there. And Phineas, you are covered in rats. What's next for you? They're still trying to crawl up and down Phineas.
Phineas, you're covered in
Mount
rats.
Phineas.
What are you gonna do now? He's he. I remember specifying last time that he had a pistol out as he opened the door, but a pistol is not very helpful in this situation. So
Fair.
I think Phineas throws a rat off, and then like as soon as he gets a chance, just takes his pistol and stows it back in his jacket, and then draws his sword instead.
Okay.
His big I can't remember what it is now. Whatever, he has a sword, and he's just gonna start like trying to hack his way across the room.
Is it a hanger sword, bastard sword?
Hanger sword. Yes, hanger sword. It was at that moment that Colin realized he'd not yet opened his character sheet. Just a moment.
What kind of sword, Colin? It's a sweet sword. That's what
It's
you
a
need.
fucking
Awesome.
cool sword. It's a shut up sword.
Awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Mind your business sword.
Yeah. That's what Phineas would say.
Yeah. of course.
And also what Colin says. Okay, opening. Yeah, it's a hanger sword, but I don't know what my combat thing is until this opens. Okay, come on. All right. 54. Okay. Any bonuses or anything here?
It's dark, so it's flip to fail.
Oh.
Thanks for reminding me.
That's sort of like a bonus, but
So it's kind of like the opposite of a bonus.
Yeah.
Not what I meant, Justin.
Well, that's not a bonus at all.
Oh, that's not a bonus at all.
It's a living.
So it's what? It's flip to fail. Oh,
Yeah,
God
flip to
damn
fail,
it.
which means that Colin's going to roll a D100, and if the inversion of the numbers would be worse, he has to take that.
Oh
Yeah, no, I rolled an 81, so
Yeah. So you take one swing with your sword, and you are hacking at them, but no hit. Now you could theoretically use another AP to hit again.
I only have
You got 3.
I've only
And-
used one, right?
Yeah, you've
Unless-
only used 1. I guess you switched a weapon, which we could say is kind of like a.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm gonna stow that extra AP to defend myself against
Okay.
rats biting at my ghoulies for the next round.
That's probably a good idea. You want to keep your ghoulies safe. Speaking of ghoulies, this thing that is running away from the silversmith shop takes off, and I'm going to roll the next escape thing. And oh, okay, interesting. All right, so this figure lumbers out of the alleyway onto the main street. It's after dark, so there's not a lot of people out walking the streets, but you do see them sort of stop at the end of the alleyway and look, and then turn to the right and pick up pace again as they run away. So we are back to another round, and it's rat time. So the rats, once again, go for the ghoulies.
But I can defend myself this time.
You can. You have an AP. So
Yes.
let me
Hack at him with my sword to keep him off of me.
all right, great.
What is that? A coordination test? I
It's a
think.
40. It is a coordination test. You could do for something like this. For coordination, you're trying to dodge out of the way,
Yeah.
so you could spend defend to make a coordination check and avoid damage. So they succeed, and they are going to try and bite you.
Okay.
Do you want to use that now to try and defend?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
So it's coordination check. Okay.
Mhm.
Is this flip to fail?
No, because it's not vision based.
Fair enough. Okay.
Sure.
Still failed though. 78.
Okay. One of them, you can feel it around your knee, and they roll maximum damage, which is 9 points of damage,
Ah.
which is not that frightening because they're just rats, you know.
They are, but that does meet my first threshold, so I'm hurt.
Okay. Excellent. I would appreciate it, Colin.
Yes.
Oh yeah, never mind. You're good. So you're at your first threshold.
Mhm.
We're good. We're great. Rats are going to try and bite you a second time.
Oh, fuckers.
They're just chomping and chomping. They fail on the second one. And then they're going to keep on climbing Mount Phineas, trying to ascend your clothing.
I was literally about to say, "Ha, eat a dick" to the rats, but then actually, no, don't do.
No, don't do that. That's the opposite of what
That's
you
the
want.
opposite of what I want. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Next up is Contentment and Zeke, who are still going to try and catch this dude. Both of you roll me D10 plus movement for this part of the chase.
Ooh,
15.
that is shapely plus 3. That's
Okay.
a 17.
Excellent. Both of you this time are able to come down to the end of the alleyway, and you turn and see this person. It looks like they've been held up by sort of a pile of crates that's in front of one of the buildings, and they are slowing down a little bit. So you're able to run up and catch. Both of you make me a capture check. So that would be either athletics or coordination to try and capture them.
Actually, my athletics is better, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Oh, that's a success. 31 under 48.
I got an 86, so no.
Okay, an automatic 69 is an automatic success, 86 is an automatic fail. But Contentment, you're able to grab onto this gentleman this time. And now he is going to make an athletics check to try and fight back against you again.
Well, joke's on you. I got swole from Holland, Mary Pullman all through the
It's
streets.
true, you got Mary Pullman muscles.
Yeah, I know.
Let me see, where's this boy's stats?
Hopefully.
Here we go. And this time you see it is a boy. As he spins around where you expect to see a monster, you see just an enormous man with a bulbous sort of weather-beaten face, and looks like no hair on top of his head, but plenty of it below his chin. He's got one of those like Amish chin beard things going on.
Chin strap beard, yeah.
Chin strap beard. And he turns around, and you can see he is angry at this point. And so he is going to try to fight back with an athletics check. Here we go.
Okay.
I rolled a 12. And so
Oh,
this
my
time
goodness.
he just shoves you away. And
gosh.
he's going to turn and try to escape again. That's the end of round 2 of chasing. And what I need now is I need both of you to roll me a either toughness or resolve check. It's an easy check. It's plus 20, but just to see if you're tired from the chase so far. And he's going to make one as well.
Resolve is slightly
Oh, that's
better.
good. Oh, I got it.
Oh, it was so close to a crit success, but it was still a success. Yay!
Yeah, I succeeded.
Excellent. Excellent.
Ugh.
He rolls a 100.
Eat
So
shit.
As
Sorry,
he
I got
pushes
excited.
you away, he turns around and jams his foot into one of the boxes. And like you think you hear bone crack
Get wrecked.
Get
Right.
wrecked, motherfucker.
as he is basically slowed down permanently until the end of this chase. He's still trying to hobble away. Saoirse,
Okay.
you are still wrestling with Mary Pullman. Do you want to keep trying to contain her, or do you have another idea?
Well, one, I would like to yell very loudly for a Howie. Howie! I could
Howie's
use some assistance!
Howie's right next to you.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
What is it, Miss Sasha?
This is not normal, they say.
No, it's not. I think, unfortunately, we may need to restrain her, but she is very forceful right now.
Yes, here. If you would like to hold her down, I will assist you. You take that arm, and I will take this one. And they are going to try to assist you. If you want to try and hold her down again, basically, I'm going to roll a d10 as a Howie, and you get to
Okay.
choose which d10 digit you want to use on your roll for your athletics check.
Okay.
Jeez.
I also
I rolled a 4.
if things go bad,
Mhm.
I may need to put B in a chokehold.
You might.
Because in chokehold I could use my toughness, which I actually do have a dot in, as opposed to my athletics, which I do not. Y'all, do I just put her in a chokehold? I'm
Yeah.
just gonna knock her
Yeah, I
out.
think
Yeah.
so. I mean, I'm not there, but I would have done it, or contended would have
this
done
is
it rather.
Out of character. I'm asking my friends around the table. I should put her in a chokehold.
Mechanically, yes,
yeah,
it's well
no,
advised.
I
Yes,
should put her in a chokehold.
At like one of my old D&D tables, we used to say like, this is the part where anytime we have these moments out of character where you're like, what should I do? This is the part where in your head, you hear everyone's voices in your head, like Obi-Wan,
Yes.
like, use the force, like, butter that fucking chokehold.
Choke her! Choke her, I say!
Fucking choke her out. What are you fucking waiting for?
What does this look like? You hear your friends yelling at you in your head.
Yes.
What does it look like when Saoirse tries to choke her? Seeing as
mean-
Saoirse's already kind of like still beat up from being stabbed. in the gut.
She's definitely still hurt. She's realizing that like trying to restrain her in this sort of old-fashioned way is really kind of pulling on her abdomen, and that's
Yeah.
not good in this certain situation. So she doesn't even really intend to, I think, actually put her in the chokehold. It's just she's just trying to still maneuver around her body and hold her still
Okay.
in a way that doesn't hurt herself as well. And then just before she knows it, she's just got an arm around her and she's just like, okay, go sleep, go sleep,
Right,
go
right.
sleep.
Saoirse, the professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Saoirse
has taken a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's
I
great.
mean, look,
okay.
look, that Greco-Roman wrestling has come from somewhere.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Probably Greece.
Papu,
Or Rome.
Papu probably
Or
taught her a
Rome.
little
Or
bit
Rome.
of this and
But
that.
Bubro, it's
Or
all
that like
a lot.
hyphen that people always forget about in between the two.
Go ahead and roll me athletics or what is it? Athletics or toughness.
I'm gonna go with the toughness. So
Okay.
that'll I've got I do have a little dot in there. So I have to get under a 49. Which I do. I got a 36.
Hey,
So
hey.
they-
Yeah.
Ah,
And now Mary Pullman is going to try to resist using athletics.
Okay.
Also, Howie rolled a 4, like a 40, so it wouldn't have helped you. So we're gonna go with your, but they are watching and sort of saying, "Oh, we're doing that instead." Okay. And
Oh, this is what we're doing now. Okay.
they
19.
put away a blackjack.
19. She turns and sort of like swings her legs over the side of the bed and stands up with you hanging off of her back.
Oh.
Hmm.
See, that's
with-
also what would happen to Sid in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. That's why they called me Spider Monkey. She's holding on. She's fucking holding on.
And they are doing this with ease. I want to emphasize,
She's not that big.
No, she's
Mary's
not.
that big.
She's a 19-year-old girl, and it's disturbing the manner in which she is rising up and
What is up with
rise up,
Mary?
and is So,
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay.
but you see for the first time a slight hint of emotion appear on a Howie's face as they're like, "Oh," like that. So,
Oh,
and just before you are carried off by Mary, you hear Howie say, "One moment," and like runs to a corner of the room and opens up a cabinet. Okay. Let us move on here as you are riding like a backpack. Phineas, it's still you versus the rats, baby.
Phineas versus the rats, baby. He's gonna just try to like hack his way through. Okay, the ceiling caved in. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a big hole in the ceiling. And it's like, this is like a 1700s house. So the ceiling's not that tall. It's like 8 feet up, right?
Which for Phineas, it's very not far above
It's
him then.
reachable. Yeah.
Which means I'm gonna try to climb through that hole in the ceiling.
Interesting. Okay.
Since Phineas is canonically, Phineas is 6'6". So like,
Very tough.
Excellent.
if the ceiling is 8 feet tall, he could jump and get his at least his elbows up there and pull himself up.
As
Yeah,
someone
sure.
who is 6'6", this is possible, can be done.
Thank you, Wally.
I
you
literally
for-
took his height from Wally.
Thank you for weighing in.
I asked Wally how tall he was and then said, okay, Phineas is that. So
Great.
Phineas-
Okay. And in that case, why don't you make me an athletics check, I guess,
Okay.
see how this goes.
this is going to be tricky. He's going to have to keep sword in hand and jump straight up. And this could be dangerous. God, today.
How do we do?
58, which is bad.
You have 4 coins.
I was gonna say, what do
Yeah.
you need?
Yeah.
Now's a good
Points,
time
yeah.
to use one, yeah.
Okay.
Climb.
I would do that again, and 90. Fuck me, sideways.
Wowzers.
My rolls tonight have been 81, 78, 58, and 90.
Excellent. I love it.
So that sucks. How many AP is it to try to climb up a hole?
Well, let's see. That would be I would call that a maneuver because you're maneuvering out of an engagement, correct? So we'll say that's like 2 AP. So you still
2
have
AP.
1 left, but you are you reach up and try to grab at the hole in the ceiling, and a little bit more of that ceiling gives way. So you sort of like land back down on your feet. You're not injured, but you have a bit of ceiling with you.
Do I at least land on a rat?
I'd let you spend another coin if you want to squash a rat or 2.
It's not worth it.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna bank my final AP to not hopefully get hit.
Okay. All right. You're gonna take the defensive stance again.
Yes.
Okay. Next round, that big guy is hobbling down the street, whoever he is, and I'm gonna roll his escape thingamajig, which is not as good as it used to be.
Aha.
They are hobbling at a very small, slow speed. Very bad. Like they're like, and that's all they're going to do is they're still trying to escape. We're back to the beginning. Rats again. Rats upon rats upon rats. Ooh, that is a critical fail by the rats. As a 77 as they try to bite on Phineas. And so we're going to say that just because they failed and you fell, you do squish a little bit of them and they move 1 step down the damage threshold.
Gross.
It's, yeah. So you feel the unmistakable feeling of squishing rats beneath your feet.
Oh, okay, one change. Can I say that he falls back down and lands on his feet, and then as he falls and tries to steady himself, he just pokes his sword down and accidentally stabs a rat?
Absolutely.
Oh fuck!
Absolutely.
Oh Jesus! Ugh. Yeah.
You've accidentally killed a rat.
Gross.
Excellent.
Eat a rat kebab.
Zeke and Contentment. This guy is within reach. You know you can reach him easily. But go ahead and roll me that face
Can
capture mechanic.
I make a different roll?
What would you like to try?
I would like to take out my gun and fire it once in the air and then point it at him and tell him, if you keep moving, I'm going to shoot you in the leg.
Okay. Are you trying to do a specific trait you have, or are we just trying to intimidate him?
I'm just trying to intimidate the guy.
Okay, roll me an intimidation check.
Ooh, I got a 19.
Yeah, boy.
Wow. Nice.
He stops. You see him favoring his left leg, and he turns around and glares at you. You can see a little bit of intimidation in his eyes. You know you got through to him, but he sort of sneers and raises his finger. He says, "You wait right there. I'm gonna bring the local constable over here, and you're both gonna be in big trouble."
No, you listen to me. All right. First of all, why did you just dive right past us and ran away?
Because you were breaking into my shop.
Oh, your shop, the one that had a foot worth of dust coating all of the floors, that was completely boarded up, that you were somehow magically on from the inside. Like hell, that was your shop.
I can't afford a cleaning lady, all right? And then we're gonna pause that scene right there, and move forward to Saoirse riding the back. Do you want to try this chokehold again?
Yep.
Okay, roll me athletics or toughness.
literally like locks her ankles around her torso and just like keeps trying for it.
Yep.
Come
Okay,
on,
rear
Percy.
naked choke. Give me a athletics or toughness check.
We're gonna go toughness.
And
49.
Howie's still trying to help. They rolled a
Okay.
50, so you have a 5 if you need it.
Okay. That's an 18. I think I'm good.
Excellent. They are going to resist using athletics. I'm going to make this tougher for them because it's also about like the length of time you've spent riding her. You know what I mean? Climbing around on her back. And
so it's that kind of game now. No.
This is the new direction that the show is going. She'll try to resist using an athletics check. Here we go. It's a critical success. It's 22.
Damn it.
So let's just say because you
She's
succeeded.
a beast. Holy shit.
She is a beast, but disturbingly so. Something like, if you didn't think something was up before, you know it now. And she comes over to the door to the room, and she almost pulls it off of its hinges. So forcefully, she opens the door, and so violently.
Okay.
And yet still, when you like crane your neck around to look at her face, you see that her eyes are still closed. And so at that point, Howie runs up behind you, and they are holding some sort of small, sort of lockable little carrying case, and they open it up and they pull out a syringe, and they take a vial and sort of like fill it up, and they say, "Oh, hold her still," and goes to inject it into her. But we're going to keep moving, and it's Phineas's turn. Phineas, do you want to squash some rats? What you going to do? You want to climb away again?
Oh God. I think Phineas is pissed, and he's gonna swing a wide arc and try to hack at some fucking rats now because he's annoyed.
Yep.
It's frustrating. Oh wait, but I'm flipped to fail, right? Because I'm in the dark.
Yep.
Oh, don't you fucking hold on. That's a 24.
42.
So it's a 42, and my combat is a 54, so it still hits.
Excellent. All right. So roll me some damage.
Okay. Damage is 3 plus brawn. Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Where's this fucking?
So it would be 3 plus your brawn plus a d6. right?
3 plus your brawn plus a d6.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So it's like I have to relearn this game every time we play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my brawn is my brawn is a 5.
Okay, so a d6 plus 5.
Okay. You said, well, d6 plus 3.
Well, I mean, unless this sword has something special about it or something else. I don't have it in front of me.
I don't think it does. No.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I rolled the wrong. I rolled under d100. My bad. D6 was a 4.
Okay.
Plus plus my combat bonus, right? Which is fucking 8 actually.
You take okay.
Yeah. So that's 12.
12. Okay. Filled with fury, you take these rats down 2 more steps down their damage threshold. You are just like hacking at these rats, which once you get like a bead on them in the dark are easy to just sort of slash and skewer and stomp on them. They are very badly hurt. You've maybe cut through at least half of them. And that is what you're doing. You still have some action points left.
He's gonna keep hacking. Take me to the knockers. He's just gonna keep fucking. It's still flip to fail. Right?
Yeah.
I rolled a 6, so flip
Excellent.
that motherfucker.
I will flip it, and it's a 60. No,
Is
just
it?
kidding.
Is that how
No,
that works?
It would be.
Is it really?
Yeah, it would be.
But
You got
that
a coin if you want to spend a coin.
Hold on, though. Hold on.
Okay. Yes,
This
tell me.
is a simple melee.
Yep.
My combat is a 54. I have a dot in simple melee, so that's 64. So it still passes.
There you go. Great.
I am loving that Colin is failing upward with these rolls. I am loving it so much.
I'm succeeding on flip to fail rolls.
Exactly. Okay. Why don't you roll me a damage roll?
Yeah. So
Again?
D6 plus 8. Same thing. Another 12.
Excellent. 2 more down, and it goes.
Can I use a coin to make that an auto 6 and do more damage?
Absolutely. And that's enough to slaughter the last of the rats, and they all sort of go scurrying off into the corners of the house, any sort of stragglers. And you see there on the floor an assortment of small, like glittery things. And there, sitting right in the middle, you see another one of those silver discs that is a pocket mirror. But there's other stuff here too. Let us go back to Saoirse, and really quick, we're going to jump out of order here. We're going to go back to Saoirse and Howie and take a look at what's happening there, because Howie draws this tincture out of the bottle and says, hold her still, and jabs it into her arm and injects it. And you see her movements start to slow and then weaken, and then she just sort of slumps over to the ground and falls down.
Tries to put her feet down first instead.
Yeah,
but probably doesn't make it, and they just both fall on the ground.
Howie leans over Mary's body and looks at her, and he says, very disturbing.
I do not understand what happened.
It is like something else was controlling her, like a puppet. Yeah.
Not only controlling her, but unless she has been extensively training with the militia since we last saw her, she was extraordinarily strong.
Inhuman strength.
I would say, yes.
We should get her back into the bed and bind her.
All right.
I'll get my ropes from my room, and they leave.
Why do...
Oh, Howie's a kinkster. Of course Howie's a kinkster.
Like so she goes to ask, and then she's like, what am I asking? Everybody's got their own thing. Whatever. Not my business. All right.
Back to the street in front of the silversmith shop. That chase ended quickly as this person collided into a pile of crates. And you're sort of at a standstill here as this man says, that's my what was he? He was from New York. It's my silversmith shop.
Okay, you know what? I'm tired of this. he walks up to this guy and he crouches down in front of him and like gets like face to face, like real close with them.
He would crouch up in front of him because he's like 7.5 feet tall.
I just get up to his
Oh,
face.
tippy toes.
I just get up to his face. I don't tippy toe. I just get up to his face.
I
And I'm
tippy
like
toe.
this. And I'm like,
a lot.
All right, you listen to me. I'm a thief. I'm a fucking thief.
Oh yeah,
I've
well I'm a
stolen-
fucking silversmith.
You listen to me. I'm talking right now. And I point the gun at his chin.
Right.
I'm talking right now. I'm talking
Right.
right now. Now listen, I'm a thief. What you did, we broke into your domicile. If a big guy like you saw two people like us breaking into your domicile, you would have kicked our ass. Not
I'm still
run
thinking
away.
about it.
And I make a click noise. You would have kicked our ass. Now listen to me. This is obviously not a place where we want to start stuff. So why don't we go off this street and have a little chat and try to clear up some grievances?
Another intimidation check.
I got a 33.
Yes.
Excellent.
Gulp.
He pauses for a moment and looks at the two of you really quickly and he says, all right, I'll make some tea. You guys want some tea?
Yeah, I'd like some fucking tea. Do you have any cinnamon?
Yeah, I have some. What
Yeah, some
kind?
cinnamon tea. You got cinnamon
I've got
tea?
cinnamon tea, yeah.
All right, give me some.
What about you?
fucking cinnamon.
Oolong? Chamomile? It's late. You'll probably be going to you, lady. What
I'll
kind of tea
have
you
what
want?
he's having.
All right, 2 cinnamon teas. And he leads you back towards that open window. Crawls you inside.
And is a very generous host. Would you like little finger sandwiches? I got some little finger sandwiches.
But these figure sandwiches are not sized for your mouths. Look at how he does.
I forgot
Oh
about
god, I had forgotten about that.
How
I
would
measured
you
the
have
inside of your
forgotten
mouth.
about that? I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
No, it's not that so much as I remember Sid going, the proportions. It was the most beautiful thing.
my God.
He lets you back in through the window and he says, hold on. And he like drapes his cloak over his arm. And as he removes his cloak, you see like arms like tree trunks, right? This guy is huge. And he starts like sort of like clearing the window from all the broken glass, so you don't cut yourself. And he sort of climbs and he's like, come on. And he steps inside
I watch
and
him
leads
go
you down a
inside.
hallway.
I look over at Contentment and I'm like, Contentment, do me a favor. Next time I ever decide to step up to a large ham-hocked gorilla like that, I want you to tell me to stop because he could have probably bashed my head in. So
We can talk about this later, but you're doing great. You're doing great.
thank you. I'm frightened of this guy. And he heads in after him.
I'm very scared right now.
So he leads you out of that back room, which is the only room you'd seen so far. Remember, this back room had tools for crafting. It had sort of a small like smelter, right, for like making liquid metal, pouring into molds. It had some examples of work, but as he leads you out into the main front room, there's a bed in the corner. He obviously, at either now or at some point, lived here. But everything else in this room is in disarray. There are examples of silverwork all over the floor. There are piles of paper. It looks like the front windows, which from the street are boarded up, had been broken already, and maybe that's why they were boarded over. And across one wall, painted, is the graffiti of the word "bloody back."
Bloody.
And yeah, I'd like either of you to either, you can make me a rumor or I think a rumor check is probably what
Rumor. Okay. Can I use my well actually feat first to see if I immediately recall a
Absolutely.
random fact?
Absolutely.
I do! I immediately recall a random fact!
And of course you do, because you know that bloody back is a pejorative term that's connected to lobster back
Right.
or red coat. And you also, with that sort of like, well, actually thing, as you see it, you see him sort of look at it with a look of anger and disgust, and then go over to a small table in the corner where there's a silver teapot, and he lights a fire on a small cook stove and starts some water to boil. You are a little bit unnerved to think about how long this water has been here, because it's obvious that no one else has been in this place for at least a week or two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to Phineas, who is in this Caradoc Bryce's house, and
Surrounded by rat corpses.
rat corpses and blood everywhere. Rat blood staining a bunch of shiny trinkets and baubles. We lost Anna's video. Trinkets and baubles that are all over the place. What do you do, Phineas? What's the idea?
I think he's still like panting, like he's just hacked and hacked, and he's covered in blood. Just like he's gonna have to wash this jacket, and like his sword is all, he's like wiping it off on his sleeve, and he's just God. And he's like already thinking about the story he's gonna tell Zeke about how this happened, because he's definitely not gonna tell him it was fucking rats. No goddamn way.
Right.
You know, he killed a guy in the street or something. So he's like rehearsing that in his head, and then he was like, oh god. And I know it's really dark in here, so he's gonna look for like a light source of some kind, a lamp,
Okay.
anything to see better.
All right. How about an awareness check as you sort of scan the home of Caradoc Bryce?
Awareness. Oh my god. 92.
How we do?
90 fucking 2.
Yeah. No, it seems like Caradoc Bryce, when the sun goes down, Caradoc Bryce is done for the day. Like, he either goes off drinking somewhere and stumbles home in the dark or something, but he obviously is not in the habit of buying lamp oil.
I'm gonna, oh, this is fun.
Do you have anything in your own possessions that you can use?
Not that, but what I do have, okay, I have a bayonet,
Okay.
and I have bandages, and I have bullets. I'm MacGyver something in my head right now. He wraps bandages around the end of his bayonet, and then let's see if any. I'm like thinking like gunpowder to light it, but I need some way to create a spark.
You sure do. You've got your like your flint in your pistol, right? And
oh yeah. What the fuck am I saying? Yeah. The flint.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, no, the flint striker in the pistol. Yeah, so he's going to he is going to take some of that. Ooh, and I have a little bit of alcohol on me. So he's gonna like put a little bit of alcohol on a bandage wrapped around his bayonet, and then strike it with his flint to make a little torch.
Okay, I'm going to make a secret check for you
Okay.
to see how good you are at making a torch.
Okay.
We're gonna say this is, I'm trying to think, maybe survival. Actually, no, I don't like that, because survival is more of a perception deal. This
Sort of craftiness.
it's not tradecraft, because that's like running a business.
Yeah.
We will say just a straight up. Just looking through all the skills.
Hard, like nothing. That doesn't really fit.
Right, it's tough, right? Because it's very creative and very Colin. And so let's just say it's a straight up intelligence check.
Can I make an argument for? Okay, I was gonna make it. Okay, that's
It's kind of alchemy, right? Do you want to use alchemy?
I was gonna say warfare. That was something that he learned.
Okay.
As
Yeah, I'll take a warfare.
in
Sure.
basic
Yeah.
Army.
I don't want you to burn this dude's house to the ground. Let's have warfare.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to get under a 42.
Okay.
And you know the way things have been going tonight, that's probably what's gonna happen, right? 69 auto success.
Auto success.
Nice.
You make. You wonder what the big deal is and why people have so much trouble making torches out of nothing.
It's fucking easy. Who knows? This whole time
Anyone can do it.
Whole time I could have been doing this. What the fuck? What was I thinking?
Yeah, you have a very long burning torch crafted in your hand, and as the light spills everywhere, once again you see the telltale signs of a retired military man who lives by himself. On one wall is the portrait of someone who maybe used to be his wife. It's the only thing in the room that's well cleaned and dusted and cared for. Everything else is like, dirty bowls of stew on the floor, mold.
He's eating
everywhere.
stew on the floor.
Well, he's just leaving them there when he's done.
Is at that point in his life where he's just sits on the floor and eats stew?
You
With his
smell
hands.
that. You smell that the chamber pots in the corners have not been cleaned in a long time. But there on the floor, you see this assortment of baubles and stuff, including that mirror. You take a look over them, you think you see a few things, like you see maybe like there are a couple of silver buttons. There's like a fork. You see a ring, and there you see that mirror. Oh, and also there's in one of the cracks there's a little hat pin. Appears also to be made out of some sort of shiny metal.
In one of the cracks, you said?
Yeah, it's like rolled into one of the cracks between
in
the
the floorboards
floorboards and the floor. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Finn, I can actually see this really well. So, like, a bayonet has like the circular part on the end that goes around the barrel. Like, he just stuffs a bunch of bandages into that part and then pours some alcohol on top of it and lights it. It would actually, now I'm thinking about it, would actually probably work as a torch.
Yeah.
Only thing he forgot is that the whole bayonet is made of metal, so as soon as he lights it, it's heating up in his hand and it's burning his hand.
It's starting to heat up now. You can feel it. But you rolled a critical success, so we'll say that it's.
I think he just like does this thing, like puts his sleeve around it so it doesn't directly. He's holding it like this kind of. He just. Okay. All right. Thank you, United States Continental Army. Now, what do we have? Oh my God, shinies! Look at this. And he's gonna scoop up all that shit. And then take the end of the bayonet and stick it in the floorboard and try to pop that little thing out.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, easily. You sort of slide that in there, and there's a hat pin that's like this long.
A hat pin, huh?
Yeah, it's a hat pin for holding women's hats on, or men's hats on if that's your jam, or non-binary friends' hats on. And it is, several inches long, made out of what you think to be silver. And you just sort of like pick all this stuff up. Yeah. Apparently these rats had a thing for silver.
Now, is that knowledge here from what we've heard of the knockers?
Am
I remembering right that that's part of the thing that they like hoard shiny objects?
Roll me a folklore check.
Okay. 31, and I needed to get under a 32. So.
Ooh, okay, great. So, you remember somebody talking about knockers. You don't know who it was. One of the smart ones.
Yeah.
And you remember that, like, looking over someone's shoulder, maybe it was Saoirse's or something like that. That knockers don't really have like a specific type of thing. Maybe they'll take something that's important to someone, though they wouldn't take a random assortment of shit. Like they would take like somebody's wedding ring or an amulet or something like that. But like, mostly they're interested in what's that?
Do they know to target like things that are important to people?
Yes.
Do they go after? Oh,
they do. But you think this looks more like maybe just the work of some pack rats who like scuttered out at night and found things that were shiny that attracted their vision. And just happened to drag all these things back into the floorboards of Caradoc Bryce's house. If you take one last sort of look and listen around, you think this place isn't haunted at all. Just had rats.
Just had a shit ton of rats.
Mm-hmm.
It was falling fucking apart too. I mean, this place should be condemned.
It should be.
Finn, I think Finn is like, okay, well, that's pretty much that. But may as well have a look around while I'm here. So he's gonna scoop all that stuff up, put it all in his pockets, and then just try to complete a round of the whole first floor.
Okay. We see a silver teapot pouring 2 cups of cinnamon tea as this very large man with a tea towel draped over his arm is filling up 2 hot mugs for Contentment and Zeke. And he says, there we are. You want some sugar or what?
I'm fine.
Cream? I don't have any.
Let me get this straight.
you're sitting in here hiding out, and this is for sure your place, and you're living here, and you're offering me sugar? What are you, a smuggler or something? What's your real job? Because this ain't it.
And he sort of wheels around, and he like scans the room for something, and he finds like a it's before newspapers, but it's like a
like a broadside or a pamphlet. Okay, yeah.
And he brings it over, and he says, "Look, see here," and it says it's an advertisement for Lackadilly Silversmith, and it says Simeon Payne, proprietor, and it has like a drawing of this man, as like he's like smiling and he's missing one of his teeth, you know, but he's like,
I look at the picture, I look at him, like
he makes the same face as the picture.
It scans up, but I need to ask you this then.
What?
Why would a big guy like you run away from two of us if we were going to break into your place?
I thought I didn't know how many of you there were. I heard people in my back room. I thought there were like people breaking into my shop. I just came back here for some of my personal things.
Okay. All right. Then we apologize for breaking into your domicile.
Okay. But also I hurt my leg, and that's pretty painful.
No, that was your fault. You ran into those boxes. As we have established, you ran out of your own house, which doesn't make any sense. But okay.
You know, like
you said that you thought that there would be more of us. Were you expecting a large amount of people to come and break into your place, rough you up?
I have a lot of valuable artifacts in here.
Now, contentment. He makes a point. As I said, the guy doesn't have the earmarks of a thief or anything like that.
Thank you.
And I would like to scrutinize him.
Okay.
Uh, 51, and my scrutinize is 55.
Excellent.
Nice.
He does not carry the earmarks of a thief or a vandal. Instead, you see that sort of on his wrists as he's pouring this tea for you, you see marks of somebody who has worked with metals, right? There are burn marks up and down his wrists. And he moves around the room with such familiarity that he might be telling the truth. Like, he might be the guy who runs this place.
I nod a bit. I'm like, yeah, this is just a guy who has the situation in his life where just because of the way he looks that he's going to get a bad rap. Isn't that right, sir?
Thank you. Yes, a bad rap. I've been getting a bad rap. 2 weeks ago, a bunch of vandals, they trashed my place. Okay, they start throwing chairs and shit through the front windows. They paint this slur on the walls, and he points to where it says bloody back. And he says, all I want is to run my business until this stupid war is over and we can go back to how things were before.
But why would people want to vandalize your place and call you that?
I don't know. I'm not a political man. I like to keep politics out of everything.
Contentment just like eye rolls so hard internally that like first we had to deal with Mrs. Doyle and now this, and it's just like, well, I mean, are you a loyalist?
Of course I'm a loyalist. I mean,
that would
why mess with things were working the way they were? Okay. And then these fucking kids of liberty or whatever, they start getting big ideas. They're putting up sticks all over town. I don't know what that is.
Right. Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
Punch him.
So you're just what?
You hear Phineas in your ears.
Punch his fucking
Put
face.
him in a chokehold.
You just got a big picture, like a big old like Phineas, like, hey, Zeke, you should punch him in his face.
I want so badly to have every time Zeke is like making a hard decision that he has like Saoirse and Phineas is like the danger angel and devil on his shoulders.
In this instance, Saoirse, Saoirse would also be like, no, really, you should absolutely punch him.
It's like Emperor's New Groove.
I'm actually with Phineas on this one. I think you should punch him in the face.
No, he's got a point.
Thank you.
So it's just like Zeke is just looking at this guy. So you're 100% a loyalist, is what you're saying.
And you would consider what, sitting in a dark room in your own boarded up shop waiting for General Howe to come and save you, things working the way that they were 2 weeks ago? Working for whom exactly? It doesn't look like you're getting much business with everything closed like this.
Hey, I get plenty of business. He grabs.
Oh, I can see that.
He grabs a stack of papers and like slams down. These are all my receipts. You see this? I made these. It's a tea tray set. And he's like starts like peeling through all these, you know, like.
And she just goes, let me see that, and like begins thumbing through to see if there's like any receipts for a bajillion goddamn identical mirrors.
I would like to pull out one of those bajillion identical goddamn
I'm
mirrors.
gonna look through his.
Yeah.
Anna, would this be guile or skullduggery, you think?
We're officially now auditors. Actually, I was gonna see if I could make the argument for education, because I'm basically like looking at his accounts.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know,
I'll
like
take that,
reading
sure.
his bookkeeper shorthand or whatever. I'm not trying to deceive him or anything. So I feel like guiles maybe.
But you are trying to do it casually. So I'll let you do it.
Sure. Okay.
Education, but it's going to be hard.
It's the same number either way. So I'll do it guile so I can do it casually.
Great.
In my mind, there's like a split screen where he's reading off stuff like, oh yeah, a bunch of silverware, some candlesticks, and like we see a split screen of Phineas just like stealing shit, like, oh, that, thank you. Silverware,
And one hat pin, just one hat pin. Mind, it was a success.
I made the best fucking hat pin. You should have seen this.
Thank you.
So pointy. It was a successful guile test.
Excellent. So you are paging through all these documents, and he says, this is all sort of happens at the same time. He says, now, you two are going to answer a question from me. Do you want some fucking sugar in your tea or not? And he goes and walks to the other side of the room to this little like silver sugar bowl and like picks it up in these enormous paws of hands and like a tiny little spoon. And when he does that, while he has his back turned, Contentment is rifling through these things, and she pulls out a receipt that looks like an order for handheld mirrors, rose themed. And it looks like they started with maybe 10, and then they amended it to make another 20 and another 30. And towards the bottom of the page, you see all of these like notes on people that he has hired as contractors, right? It looks like there's a cleaning lady who then later he had to let go because he couldn't afford a cleaning lady. And it looks like there's the name of a person who supplies him with silver, you know, brings it into the city. And then there's a name that's all by itself, which strikes you as odd, because this name isn't attached to any specific work or job. It just says next to it, for other stuff. And it has a name right next to it, and that person's name is Marianne Bedford.
Mary Ann Bedford.
And you sort of make a mental note of that.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to take our first break.
Oh.
And then when we get back, we'll regroup and sort of everyone can decide what happens. As a reminder, the next day is the street festival. Oh yeah, on the 15th. And so you have a lot of work yet to do. So everybody who's watching, thank you for being here. Our retweets are stagnating. We're only at 16. We need 7 more if you want me to wear a stupid wig.
Come on, y'all.
Let's retweet.
We need this. I need this.
Please do that, but also take care of yourself. Use the bathroom, get a drink, get a snack, bring us a snack, and be a snack. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Always.
Always be a snack.